Hello aspirants, I welcome you all to daily editorial analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 19th of March 2025. Displayed here are the list of articles that we are going to discuss today. In this first article, we'll be discussing about the gig workers and what is the gig economy and the challenges faced by them. And in the second article, we'll be discussing about the direct menace that is currently happening in our country. So we'll be discussing both articles from the mains perspective. So without any delay, let us get into the article discussion. Now look at this editorial article from the Hindu newspaper. This article talks about the current trend of gig workers. They have not been provided with proper opportunity in the current era, and this article highlights the data about it. So we shall revise about the gig economy from the mains perspective. So let's start with what is gig economy. See, gig economy is nothing but a free market system with short-term jobs. So there are a lot of difference between the traditional working as well as the gig working. We shall see that in a slide later. And talking about their contribution to our GDP, literally 1.25% of GDP by 2030. They have so much potential, about 1.25% of GDP. And when we talk about the Niti Aayog's 2022 assessment, 47% medium skilled, 22% high skilled, and 31% low skilled jobs has been contributed by this particular economy. Now moving on, talking about the difference between the traditional as well as the gig market. When we talk about the traditional market, they have a physical work location and they have terms until when to when, they have bonds and they have a job security as well as a local bargaining will be there because there will be unions because they are going to work physically in a particular location. So there will be unions and there will be collective bargaining power. But when we talk about the gig market, it is individualistic and the gig workers will be employed for short duration. Once the work is done, they will be searching for another work. So there is no proper security when it comes to gig workers, and they usually seek work in online platforms. So they will be hired for a particular duration. So this is what when we talk about gig workers. And the thing is, their arithmetic wage determination is there, and there is no very specific determination of salary or wages. So the persons who has been employed under this gig economy, their salary and wages will be changing according to the season and changing according to the demand in the market. So this is very basic difference between the traditional market and gig workers. Now moving on, we shall see about the government initiatives that has been taken in order to safeguard this gig workers. So the first thing is the social security benefits, and for this they have provided Ayushman Bharat coverage for 10 million gig workers. Secondly, the e-Shram portal. See, this e-Shram portal is a very important portal. This provides social security not only to the gig workers but also for the informal sector workers. So informal sector workers or workers, they support the traditional workers, but there is a very big difference between the informal workers as well as gig workers. Mostly the informal workers are employed, but they are unskilled laborers. So even for them, government is providing social security, and this is done under e-Shram portal. And literally 30.59 crore registrations has been done under this social security benefit. There are certain state government related initiatives. For example, we have Tamil Nadu e-scooter subsidy, and there are insurance schemes as well, and they have proposed a social security framework, for example the pension contributions from platforms as well as governments, and this is actually a proposed thing. Then we have a code on social security 2020. This includes gig workers when it comes to insurance as well as benefits. So these are all certain initiatives that has been taken out by our government. Now moving on, we shall say about the key reports when it comes to gig workers. Firstly, the Niti Aayog report 2020, we just now saw about it. They have recommended for social security as well as the skill development. And the Union Labour's Ministry Expert Committee 2024, very recently they have provided recommendation for a focused structured social security. Then we have FICCI ILO's engagement. They have advocated for global labor standards to be implemented in gig economy as well. Then study on women in gig economy, they have asked for flexibility and lack of security when it comes to gig economy. So these are all certain key reports. Moving on, we shall see about what can be done in order to make their work easier and provide them proper social security. First thing is we have to bring in a comprehensive plan specifically for gig workers. The gig workers are actually provided with social security, but it is very decentralized, and it is actually provided in different acts. It is not properly, there is no comprehensive act for specifically for them. So we can bring in lot of health insurance, pension, as well as disability benefits, so that the gig workers will be aware of it. Second, we have to bring in legal recognition. We actually have legal recognition, but the definition of gig workers, their rights as well as fair contracts, it has not properly defined under a proper legal framework. So we require legal recognition in that case. Then when it comes to the skill development, we require upskilling programs even for the skill developers. And we have to bring in financial inclusion. We can provide them loan access, saving plan, as well as microfinance schemes. And finally, we have to regulate their platform practices, and this can done by transparent pay as well as fair work allocation. So through this, their wages as well as salaries can even be made better. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember when it comes to these gig workers. Now I have a mains practice question for you. Let me read out the question. The gig market has a vast potential to boost the economy in the coming days. However, the rights of the gig workers is still a concern. Discuss. So when the keyword is discuss, you have to give different dimensions. So you can start with what is the gig workers in the introduction. You can move on to what are all the government initiatives are there, or what are all the rights given by the government, and then you can talk about what are all the challenges in there. Then what is the way forward. So you can give three points or 3 to 4 points for each subheading, which will make the question very beautiful with the current trends and data that has been provided in the article. So you can write an answer and post it in the comment section so that we can review your answer as well as your peers can review it. Now look at this data point article from the Hindu newspaper. This article, as the title itself hints, talks about the current menace, drug menace that is happening in Kerala, and the article also highlights other data which is happening in different states. So from the mains perspective, we have to learn about the data. You can make a note of these data and you can use it in your mains answer. And we have to talk about what are all the challenges, what are all the measures taken by the government, and how it can be rectified. So let's start with the data that has been mentioned in the article. When we talk about Kerala, nearly 78 cases per lakh population is filed, which is highest in our country. The second highest is Punjab. 30 cases per lakh population has been filed. Here you can see the data. In 2021, there has been only 5,695 cases, but in 2023, 30,000 plus cases has been filed when it comes to drug dealing. And Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and UP has also increased number of high reporting when it comes to drug menace. So this is the current data or the trend when it comes to drug abuse in our country. Now moving on, we shall see about the very important act that actually regulates drug dealing in our country, which is nothing but the Narcotics, Drug and Psychotropic Substances, in short called as NDPS Act 1985. So this particular act regulates possession, transport as well as manufacturing of drugs, and it even led to the establishment of a centralized bureau called the Narcotics Drug Bureau for enforcement, and it prescribes strict penalties for drug related crimes, and it even imposes or it even implements the international conventions when it comes to drug dealing. Now moving on, certain amendments has been done to this NDPS Act. Let us see the key amendments. Firstly, in 1988, they introduced stricter laws, especially section 27A. Under this 27A, certain definitions has been imposed, and in 2001, the sentences has been rationalized as well as the bail process has been made easier. And in 2014, they have improved access to the medical narcotics as well as addressed the opioid issue. And in this particular amendment also, they made certain changes when it comes to section 27A. Especially, they defined what is illicit trafficking of drugs. But what happened was they did not mention the section properly, which led to improper or ineffective implementation of the act. So this later rectified in 2021, and this made this 2021 amendment made the amendment retrospective. So 2014, any particular case that has been made under this illicit trafficking will be fined under the particular act. So these are all very key amendments when it comes to NDPS Act. Now moving on, we shall see about what can be done when it comes to the drug menace that is currently happening in our country. See, first thing is we have to bring in a lot of stricter law enforcement as well as smart policing. And secondly, we have to raise awareness, especially among the people who are in the teenagers. So we have to bring in a lot of education campaigns. And thirdly, we have to bring stricter regulations, especially on additive medicines. And we have to bring awareness about how drugs are classified, and what drugs will bring, and what are all the side effects and impacts will bring in to a person, and this has to be done with proper awareness. And fourthly, we have to bring in tougher punishments for the traffickers, and this can be done by rectifying the errors in the current act. And finally, we can bring better rehab as well as de-addiction centers. So this de-addiction centers, it can be decentralized as well. So we can empower the gram panchayat and even the village panchayats to bring in all these de-addiction centers. So this will bring a lot of change in our society. And finally, we have to seek for international cooperation to curb the drug trafficking. So it is not only happening in our country, it is also a cross-border issue, and that is why we require collaboration from international agencies as well. So these are all certain important key facts that you have to remember when it comes to this particular thing. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now, thank you so much for listening.